In society today, there is a bias against introverts. People are taught to be like extroverts, outgoing, enjoying being in social situations, learning how to network. I want to talk about why introverts are important. So let's give some quick definitions. Extroverts are people who gain energy in social situations, and introverts are people who gain energy when they're by themselves. Everyone is a little bit extroverted and a little bit introverted. It's just a matter of where they fall on the scale. So Bill Gates, who's an introvert, was asked how well introverts can do in a primarily extroverted business world. And he answered, I think introverts can do quite well. And then he elaborated and said that an introvert can take a problem and think about it in solitude very deeply. And then the introvert can hire extroverts that can do networking and teamwork so that they can, quote, have a company that thrives both in deep thinking and building teams and going out in the world to sell those ideas, end quote. But why was that question even asked? Why is the introvert automatically the underdog that we even need to ask how they can possibly succeed at business? It's because of a societal bias, which in my mind is just wrong. Just because you don't see introverts talking about their ideas as easily and relating with people as easily doesn't mean their ideas are any lesser or that they're any less effective in getting real work done. An example of a very outwardly successful introvert is Eleanor Roosevelt. She was the first lady during the FDR presidency, so she was around during the Great Depression and World War II. After FDR passed, she became a UN delegate, a human rights activist, and she gave hundreds of public speeches. She was also the first chairperson of the preliminary UN Commission on Human Rights. So this is an introvert who's working out in the world with people, who commanding audiences, working with people in the UN, while being an introvert. She also said that she had memory like an elephant. She does not forget anything. So that to me is a very powerful and effective person. Society's bias towards extroverts is subtle, and there are two main reasons for this. The first reason for the bias is that extroverts demonstrate qualities that are easy to see, and those qualities are important for success. We live in a world where we need to work with other people to create communities, businesses, schools, family structures, everything. You need to be able to communicate. And extroverts just do this more easily and more readily. And we, in an evolutionary way, look at it and think of it as, oh, look, that's good. That person fits well in the society. That person's going to do well. So we automatically detect it because there is a benefit in it, and we can see it. And we always make judgments based on what we see. The second reason for this bias towards extroverts is that a lot of people think shyness and introversion are the same thing, and they're not. Shyness is fear of judgment, and when someone's fearful of being judged, they will often just keep to themselves. They'll close up, keep to themselves. So they may look introverted, but it's really just a matter of fear. There are a lot of introverts who are not shy. The two words need to be decoupled. An introvert simply means you just prefer to be by yourself, doing whatever you're doing. So this is how introverts are taught to view extroverts. Look at that person. Look at how easy it is for them to talk to people. Look at how smooth they are. Look how well they operate in a group, how well they run a group. They're charismatic, and that's how you should be. That's how you're going to do well. So that communication is subtle and it's insidious. If you want to look at that same frame of thinking negatively, it looks like this. Someone's saying this to the introvert. Your qualities aren't good enough. When you're in solitude, that other person's enjoying themselves. You should be outgoing. This way is not the way that you're going to do well. And you want to succeed, right? I'm doing what's best for you. I want you to succeed. You want to succeed. You want to have a happy life. Be like the extrovert. And what's wrong with this is that they're not looking at how powerful introversion is. So here's another amazingly successful introvert. And when I say the word success, I mean it in terms of simply doing doing well in the world financially, business-wise, and whatever. There are a lot of ways of talking about success. I'm simply talking about outwardly. Warren Buffett is the example. He would study math and finance all day, and he would predict what stocks would rise 50 or 60 years ago. Today, he is one of the richest people in the world. He used his wiring of his brain, which focused really deeply on things, picked the right stocks, and then he hired business people around him, and now he runs a gigantic business. People call him the Sage of Omaha, which is the city he's from, and they go to him for business advice. And this introvert is providing a lot of wisdom and demonstrated a lot of success in the field that he's in. So, and I don't need to keep referencing these people who are just outwardly successful, because that person who lives down the block, who spends hours by themselves in the yard, cutting every hedge, trimming every berry, making sure the lawn is immaculate, that person might be an introvert. And they probably are, because if they weren't, they might be socializing instead of working to that level of detail on the yard. And the benefit that they provide is that every time you pass by that yard, it's immaculate. It's amazing. It brings out like this beautiful feeling in you, which is something that they worked really hard to create by themselves. So let me go back to the ones who are outwardly successful, though, because I want to dispel this myth that introverted qualities lead to less success. Michael Jordan, basketball player, outworked everyone on his team. And just because someone else was on a team with Michael Jordan, they had to do better. If they're going to step on the court with him, they had to be up on their game. So they would work harder. And Michael Jordan, an introvert, would play on a court with 9 other people, on a stadium in front of thousands of people, and lead a team. And he led the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA titles between 1991 and 1998. And he's an introvert. Another introvert is JK Rowling, writer of Harry Potter. She created this intricate universe in her mind and put it onto paper. So if you ever go to Universal Studios in Orlando and you take the Harry Potter Hogwarts ride and then drink butterbeer afterwards, you can thank that introvert for dreaming up this entire world. The list of introverts goes on and on and on. Albert Einstein, Elon Musk, Dr. Seuss, Steven Spielberg, maybe the valedictorian of your high school class. Each of these people are not necessarily outgoing or good at networking. Einstein would spend all day in his house or in an office. Elon Musk studied physics really, really, really intensely, and now he runs a car company and a rocket company. While introverts are alone, they're thinking and working really hard and bringing genius into the world. And that's worth celebrating.